The whole philosophy of Adhyatma shows us the right path. It is at Alipore jail that Shri Aurobindo understood Vasudeva everywhere. Every sentence that Shri Aurobindo says is itself like a mantra. And there is tremendous power in those words. Our message to the world is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. Shri Aurobindo, as I understand, yoga is and was innate in Shri Aurobindo. It is also innate in all of us. I perform my vandana, my charana sparsha to Shri Aurobindo and Mataji. May the blessings of both of them be with me, be with all of you. My heart itself is filled with a sense of blessing and a deep sense of gratitude for even getting this opportunity to talk to you about Shri Aurobindo as I understand. The heart is filled with Shri Aurobindo's blessings and deep sense of gratitude which is beyond all words. In words, all I can say is I am deeply grateful. I am, like all of you, a small sadhaka. And it is from that sadhaka consciousness that I would just share my heart with you about Shri Aurobindo as I understand him. So, my dear sadhaka, sisters and brothers, Namaste. The most beautiful Bharatiya universal salutation, Namaste. As is our Bharatiya Shaili, the style, the method that Shri Aurobindo also made us aware, the Sutra Shaili, saying something very deep in just 2 or 3 crisp, brief words. Namaste is one such deeply meaningful and beautiful sutra. That single word Namaste means the divinity in me. The divinity in me salutes the divinity in you. And then if we trace and go still deeper, then that single word Namaste means that it is one and the same divinity that is everywhere, that is in everything and still beyond everything. Sri Aurobindo helps us, guides us to understand this deep beauty of the single worded sutra Namaste. Next to Namaste comes our age-old prayer, the Prarthana. The Prarthana that to me too is the deepest essence of Bharatiya Sanskriti, same as Sanatana Sanskriti, and the one that is oldest and newest at one and the same time. And while this territory called Bharatvarsha is the land on which this Sanatana philosophy develops, it is not bound by that land, and within that land it is the universal, timeless philosophy. And the deepest core, the essence that Sri Aurobindo has helped me understand is our prayer, Sarvetra Sukhina Santu. Whatever we do in life, let it be inspired by this genuine, honest prayer that let everybody feel the bliss. Sarvetra Sukhina Santu. Our age-old Vedic prayer, which is relevant today, and it will continue to be relevant until and beyond the expression of supraconscious in all of us. The manifestation of Mahamanava, as Sri Aurobindo and Mataji helped us understand. So my dear sadhakas, Namaste and Sarvetra Sukhinas Santu. As to this Aurobindo, as I understand, I could finish it in half a line, not even one full line, half a line. Sri Aurobindo, as I understand, I don't. But at the same time, I can say with certainty that I am just beginning to understand Sri Aurobindo, as I understand. The easier part is his life. The westernized father who wanted all his kids to be brought up in the West on the entirely Western lines. So at young and impressionable age, Sri Aurobindo was sent to London. His formative stage of 14 years is there in his schooling and then appearing for the ICS exam and probably failing it deliberately because he didn't want to join it. And then when he returned to India in 1893, he has left for us this deeply meaningful and a beautiful sentence while stepping into the Apollo Bandar at Mumbai, Shri Aurobindo has said something to the effect that I sensed a vast peace descending on me. I keep thinking even about this sentence. I sensed a vast peace descending on me. The very first darshan of Bharat Mata, and that Bharat, which is not just land, that Bharat which has nurtured Adhyatma philosophy, and it is universal, and it is scientific, and more science progresses, science itself is becoming Adhyatma. I sensed a vast peace descending on me. Of course, Maharaja of Baroda, Sayaji Maharaj, truly the great administrator, the great nationalist, son of Bharat Mata, picked up human gems and assigned them important responsibilities at his darbar. Be it revival of Bharatiya classical music, be that another great Mahamanava like Baba Saheb Ambedkar and Shri Aurobindo himself. With every passing day at Baroda, Sayaji Maharaj went on understanding the greatness of Shri Aurobindo. It is also at Baroda that Shri Aurobindo met Visaji Bhaskar Lele. I can't use the term he taught yoga to Shri Aurobindo, because in every sense of the term, yoga is and was innate in Shri Aurobindo. It is also innate in all of us. Visaji Bhaskar Lele, in a way, was only instrumental in making Shri Aurobindo aware of the yogi in him. So Shri Aurobindo went on having what we, in our three-dimensional life, the rational life, the mental life, what we would call as mystic experiences. Then of course, Aurobindo Ghosh, the great revolutionary, commenced his work just before the Vanga Bhanga movement of 1905. He felt drawn to Bengal. He is among the very first ones to start talking of complete independence from the British rule, and accordingly wrote, spoke in a powerful way, organized even armed revolutionary struggle, and so he was arrested and put behind bars. Then it is at that Alipore jail that another deeply beautiful and mystic experience completely changed his life. Swami Vivekanand spoke to him for over 15 days. It is at Alipore jail that Shri Aurobindo understood Vasudeva everywhere. As the 7th Adhyay in Bhagavad Gita says, that rarest of rare are those who understand and see Vasudeva everywhere. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Shri Aurobindo saw that. After release, he spoke, or may I say, that the words were spoken through him. He was a medium, he was an instrument of the historic Uttarapara speech. That Sanatana Dharma is Hindu nation and Hindu nation is Sanatana Dharma. And it is not restricted, it is not jingoistic, of course not xenophobic or based on someone's hate, but that this Sanatana, the Bharatvarsha, has a global role to play. Shri Aurobindo received Adesh, and accordingly he left the practical hustle bustle of social, political, economic life, went to Pondicherry in 1910 and remained there physically, geographically for next 40 years of his life. Those are the 40 years that begin to prepare humanity. The 40 years that begin to prepare you and me for the future life. It is there that Mataji, the mother, first met him also in 1914, and finally Mataji also moved to Pondicherry in 1920. Shri Aurobindo's writings speak to us like he is speaking in person. The writings are like a voice that reaches out to us. His essays on Gita, his synthesis of yoga, his secret of Vedas, is originally a writing inspired by a British booklet, Is India Civilized? In its original form, that book was called Foundations of Indian Civilization. But now, the Aurobindo Ashram has put 4 of Shri Aurobindo's books in one book and calls it Indian Renaissance. To me, that is the best explanation of what Bharatiya Sanskriti is. The one that helps us understand how Adhyatma, how Advaita, the philosophy of Vedanta, the oneness pervades in all walks of life of Bharatiya Sanskriti. Be it dance, music, literature, drama, painting, and of course our economic, social, political, all life. It is that sense of oneness from which all of it expresses. It is that yearning to attain that oneness, the realization of Brahma, the universal consciousness, and Shri Aurobindo helps us understand them. Every sentence that Shri Aurobindo says is itself like a mantra. And there is tremendous power in those words. Shri Aurobindo's words cannot simply be read like any other normal book. Reading his words itself is meditation. And one has to actually meditate on every single sentence that Shri Aurobindo says. If and when we tell ourselves that I will not go ahead unless I understand what he is saying, then that reading is very slow, but we evolve with every next sentence. Our attempts to understand Sri Aurobindo's explanation of life divine, and as many times as we read life divine, we keep going deeper and deeper. Sri Aurobindo internalized the entire Adhyatma philosophy and also further developed it. Adi Shankara told us Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya. He didn't mean that the world in which we live is false in the sense that we use the word normally in language. What Adi Shankara means to say is that Brahma, the truth with capital T, Satya, is beyond the material world, beyond what our empirical eyes say. So he said, Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya. Sri Aurobindo then carried us into understanding that Jagan Mithya is not denial of the world in which we live. So Jagan also is Satya, and it is through that we reach Brahma. Sri Aurobindo internalized the entire yoga tradition of Bharatvarsh and developed it into integral yoga. So traditionally we are told, and Bhagavad Gita says, that there is Karma Marga, Bhakti Marga, Jnana Marga, and the Raja or Yoga Marga. Sri Aurobindo synthesized all of it, and in that synthesis he also built lot of new elements and gave us this great gift, the great blessing of integral yoga. Sri Aurobindo also set India on the path of future greatness. As I understand, Sri Aurobindo's concept of nationalism, he set us to 3 tasks. Number 1 is unification of Bharat Mata. So the new glory, there is no question of repeating the past. The past is to be internalized, and we work on ourselves and manifest in a new form, so that integral, innate, essential unity, oneness of Bharat Mata. The second task Sri Aurobindo set us to is then unity of Asia, and in that same sequence, the third task he set Bharatvarsha, all of us. The third task to which he set us is unity of the whole Dharti Mata, the whole world, the whole universe, realizing and expressing that unity. In modern times, we are told that this theory of clash of civilizations is developed by the Harvard professor Dr. Samuel Huntington. After the Cold War, he wrote an essay for the internationally known magazine Foreign Affairs. The title of that essay was Clash of Civilizations, End of Cold War and Making of a New World. Samuel Huntington argued that if Cold War was clash of ideologies, capitalism versus communism, liberal democracy versus dictatorship of the proletariat, so on and so forth. Samuel Huntington argued that now the coming age is clash of civilizations. Then actually he is not the one to say so for the first time. Sri Aurobindo also explained the inevitable clash of civilizations, and he also offered beautiful solution, realizing the essential oneness of the civilization. Then the clash will stop, and the clash will not result into hatred and violence and destruction, but in fact that realization of oneness will take us to realization of our oneness as even human beings, realization of entire one human civilization. Sri Aurobindo also further built on our traditional Adhyatma philosophy. So if there has been evolution from a single-celled amoeba to us, human beings, and if the likes of Darwin say that evolution is by chance and mutation, Sri Aurobindo told us that there is descent of supraconscious and ascent of our human consciousness. So the two triangles that define this beautiful symbol that Sri Aurobindo helped us understand. So this body is like the best evolved instrument for the descent of supraconscious. And it is through yoga that we keep developing to make ourselves the instrument of the descent of that supraconscious. As politely as possible, but I do want to say that I have understood it at intellectual level, but I need to realize it. And with the same politeness and the sadhaka consciousness, I can also say that in my day-to-day life, in my ever so little yoga sadhana that I can do, I do know that I am engaged in that tapascharya, the sadhana. I sincerely believe that this degradation of environment, the nuclear arms race, possibilities of annihilation of life, including human life, we are staring at it. I believe Shri Aurobindo and the whole philosophy of Adhyatma shows us the right path. I also believe that Bharat Mata is increasingly getting ready to perform its universal role. It is now over 2 decades that I saw the world in a clash of 2 9/11s. There is one 9/11 of 2001. I call it the 9/11 of violence, the 9/11 of intolerance, the 9/11 of hatred. Right since that day in 2001, the first time news broke to me, I feel grateful and blessed to remember another 9/11 of human history. This time the year was 1893, when Swami Vivekanand explained Bharat in the Parliament of Religions at Chicago. As different drops of water fall on different mountains and flow through different streams to one and the same ocean, our lives also go in the direction of that Shiva or Brahma. So let there be no scope for mutual hatred and violence. Vivekananda's work, of course, is further enriched, developed, and handed over to us by Shri Aurobindo. I sincerely believe even today, when India organizes the G20 conference and tells the world that our message to the world is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family, and it is towards that sense of oneness, towards our ascent and the descent of supraconscious that all of us need to work. In that pursuit, we will find our blessings. I am beginning to find it, so I feel blessed, and I express my deepest possible gratitude, and I will dedicate myself to performing sadhana as all of us will. Thank you. God bless us all.